Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Middlepage Podcast. Your boy, the V, taking in a very big shoes to fill. Serena out for the night, but she asked me to take the helm, and we got Sunshine, my man Martin, and our guest tonight is Miss Angel. How's it? How is everyone doing this night?
Pretty good.
Good. Very good, very good.
Good. So tonight's topic is we're going to talk about, if I would, the plight of the blended family. And in short, a blended family is more or less when a couple have kids from a previous relationship and they decide to have union together. And, starting to think back, I was the blended family when my mom was dating or whatever and had relations, and I never really think about that, but because mom was such an authoritative figure that I didn't worry about anyone else. It was just her to me, and but she only married once, that I was a part of, and have a little brother now, and him and I are tight to this day. So it's like, it works for some it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Either anyone in here also a part of a blended relationship?
No, but I have a blended family. My kids. But I think for me as a man, and we see this so much, how most men do have blended families and they don't bring their kids to be close with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think because my family background, we all close, no matter where you from.
Okay.
So I have that, how my mom taught me and my sister, I kind of instill that in my kids. No matter what color you are or what, whatever, I make them come close. That's because I spend time with them. I bring them together. They always happy to see each other. They talk to each other. I make them put each other in a group text. Even if you're on social media, communicate with each other. That is my biggest thing, because as we get older, we drift apart.
Yep.
We go places. You be on one end of the earth or overseas, and you don't stay in contact. Say that me and Miss Hauser, we related, we close, but we might not see each other for 20 years. And
Wow.
as siblings, you can do that, because
Right.
like for my family, she's part of a blended family because my granddad had, her outside of his wife's parents, but she's close with certain people in the family, but not as close. But I try to break that cycle. You know what I'm saying? That's how me and my sister, we see so much growing up. So that's how I kind of like train my kids to be that way.
I got it. What about you, Miss Angel?
Not a blended family immediately, but when he was talking about the grandparents, both sides on my father's side, my grandmother mom's died shortly after she was born. So I said that would be my great grandfather. We married, and my grandmother is the oldest, and she would raise, as we would say now, her half siblings. But for us, it wasn't half. This was aunt so and so. This was this was that. It wasn't until I got older and start asking questions. Well, why? Because my grandmother is short and dark, and all my other great aunts and uncles are tall and light skinned. Even though I'm light skinned, but you once you get older, you see and you ask questions, and it wasn't no step or no half. That was aunt. That's this. Some aunts and uncles who remarried. One of my favorite uncles married my aunt Dolores. She already had 2 kids, and when they was just dating, for us, we was like, "What's up, cuz?" And we've been cousins. We've been cousins ever since. So I guess it's to get back what Brother Martin was saying. just how you were brought up and how you choose to interact with everybody.
Agreed. Sunshine?
Well, yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, but even going back that far, I do remember asking my grandfather, which is my biological mother's father, about like my great grandmother and her sisters, and I found out that his mother and our Aunt Azalea, who we affectionately call Aunt Yayo, they had the same mother and father, but their mom transitioned, and then Pop Fitch got remarried, and then had my three other aunts. So, like, just knowing that side, um, it kind of trickled down. I was in a polygamy household, and so I was already in a blended family. And then when we got separated, I ended up being raised by the elders in my family. So they kind of took over. So I got a little bit of everything coming up.
Yeah, you do. Okay. That's what's up. Sharita was so nice to have information for me to kind of share. And I was going to give some facts regarding blended families. It says that 1,300 of new step families are formed each day. Less than half, 45%, of children, quote, do well after a divorce. 1/4 of children with divorced parents have severe social or emotional problems, whereas only 10% of their peers from nuclear families do. Miss Angel, the definition of nuclear families, that's a new term for me. Is that something that they discussed
Um,
in your circles?
yeah, but when I would talk to people and communicate, it's like I try to get away from the book lingo
Mm-hmm.
and just try to meet people where they are. And I guess growing up, a nuclear family would be the mother, the father, and the siblings. Everybody have under the same line, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know in the real world, in reality, that always doesn't happen. So I would, try to get out the word nuclear and just, who do you consider family? Why do you consider them family? And kind of, have that conversation or start that foundation from there. And then going in, not knowing, you have to double check with the parents, because a lot of parents may not have told brother A that sister B got a different daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And does not want that known.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a private conversation you would have with the parent. Where are we with this? How can I assist? What do you want from me? Being in folk business, basically.
I mean, come on, people. Kids are not dumb. If they're learning colors in school, they can tell the difference between light skin and dark skin, or dark skin and light skin. So, it's I'm with Martin in the aspect of, giving love regardless of, color, race. It doesn't matter to me. You love a member of my family, I'm gonna love you because you're giving that love, that respect. And, growing up, in my case, I grew up in the West Indies. So when I started school, it's a melting pot. So I had, Hispanics, Caucasians, there was some Koreans, a handful, Jamaicans, Haitians, all different types of walk of life. So I learned to not judge people by their skin, but more or less the way they treated me.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my best friends were way lighter than me. You know what I'm saying? And it stinks that we're now in a place that people are looking at the pigmentation of the book before they know what's in the book. And you know, that really needs to change. I feel that's my philosophy. Because one of the best friends for my son, and my son's having a tough time with what's going on in the dynamic in my home. His best friend, who is very Caucasian, handsome dude, blonde hair, blue eyes, but he's there for him. And the good book says a friend will stick closer to you than a brother in a time of need. So I'm appreciative for my man Connor. Shout out for him looking out for my son. You know what I'm saying? So, forgive me for preaching on that, but that is definitely that's like a part of my heart. Even with Blast, we're wanting to break genre, divisions. We want to break those walls down because we want country music, we want rock music, and it's not a color. We just want good music, regardless. So, anyway, enough of that. So, let's flip this. When it comes to relationships, how soon is too soon for your kids to meet that new person?
That's a good one right there. Man,
I'm living firsthand experience on that, but I'll save mine for last.
Man, that kind of got me a little stumped for a little second there, because I've been on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you end up meeting someone and you feel like things going good, you end up introducing your kids to them, and then sometimes you kind of regret it because you probably went through that too many times, and you try to see them off, and then the way society is now, you definitely want to hold off as long as you can to make sure that this person is going to be a force in your life. So me personally, speaking of the now instead of back then, I don't know. Maybe just me. I'll probably say about a month or two or longer.
Okay.
You know, because you want to be comfortable. You want to make sure, because we all older, and we just don't need somebody just coming in and out of our lives just for a season. Seasons come and seasons go. But at the same time, if we looking for that mate, that's that one, that foundation, to that glue together, so we could grow old together. And if you think that's that person, then I think you wait as long as you're supposed to introduce them to your kids, because kids get emotionally attached easily, and they could do something to them, especially when they like somebody. If I introduce my kids to Sunshine and they think Sunshine is the world, she the bomb, or Dad, we like her better than you, type of thing. I mean, we don't see it.
That might happen sometimes.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, me and Sunshine don't work out, and then they'd be like, "Oh, Dad, what happened? We really like her," and then they'd be like, "Well, we don't want you to be talking to nobody else again." You know what I'm saying? So then you conflicted, because you want to meet somebody, but then you scared because the way your kids felt the last time you was with the other person. So
yeah.
And then to add more to that, say if your kids are like teenagers and Sunshine still wanted to communicate with the kids, and then you meet somebody else, y'all cool with that, that's totally separate, and then here you go bringing in Mary Lou, and Mary Lou was like, well, why Sunshine always with your girls and with your, so that's a whole
nother grease in the fire pan right there.
Now that equals the definition of nuclear right there.
Yeah. The ties, it's the different ties that connect you, the unit. It's the bond with the kids,
Exactly.
It's amazing, like, to even be included in this conversation, because it took me back to about September of 21. I got a phone call, and it was around the anniversary of my daughter's transitioning, but it was from a young lady who I used to date her father. She was, you know, checking on me about how I was doing. But then she really needed to talk to me. And what was amazing, like what you just brought up about the bond, what ended up happening, her father was in the hospital and he was in a coma and she didn't know what to do. Mom had already remarried, so she's the oldest child. And it was like, you know, she's trying to figure out what to do. So she called me and immediately, you know, it's always been love. I follow her on social media and everything, but she just was like, I don't know who else to call. And she was like, you're the only other person that I know because
Wow.
I've watched you deal and handle things like this. And we stayed on the phone for like 3 hours. By the time we were done, I got on the phone with two people and got all the information that she needed and called her back with it. So, you know, in some instances, those bonds are great,
Mm-hmm.
like
Right.
how it panned out for this one, you
Right.
know. But there are those where that person who has that bond with your children could
Yeah.
then start questioning directly to your children. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what was your dad and Sunshine doing, or what was Sunshine and
Yeah,
so and
not
so
yeah.
doing? You
Yeah.
know, like that's when the boundaries kind of cross. But I do feel you on that. I would say not even putting like a definite number, but it usually ends up being like around the 7 to 9 month mark for me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah.
I noticed that. I have two
Um,
boys. They're going to be 11 and 9 this year. this year, and no, 11 and 9. What am I talking about? 11 and 9 this year, and um, I'm just recently going through a divorce, but it's not from their father. Um, so you know, but they're cool with it. You know, so seeing their reactions, it's like, no, this was we good. We want you to be happy with somebody else, and they're this young and know that. You know,
Wow.
so it's like, you know, the whole time I'm tipping toeing thinking that, oh, because of this it's going to be
Right.
an issue. No, my sons came to me one Saturday morning and was like, you need a man.
you said they 8 and 10 now, or at the time they
Right now,
wow,
yeah,
Miss Sunshine.
this is like,
They
and my
said, you getting on
brother,
my nerves. You need to find somebody, okay?
brother is sitting across from me, and I look, and my brother was like, wow. But honestly, what my boys, they just so I just hope and pray whoever they get is real good to them. You know what I'm saying? Because I have the feeling that they're going to be great to them. So I just put that energy out there in the universe. But they
No
just was
doubt.
like, you do so much, mommy, for everybody else, and
And
Like I
we
said,
and we can't do for you like you need. So you
right.
need somebody to do for you. So that's why you need a man. I said, oh, so I need a man for that.
just to add a small piece to what Sunshine's saying is because your son is going to when they grow into men, young men, they're gonna look for a woman that has your qualities.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and I tell them,
And
but she got to be better than me. That's what I tell them. I tell them, I said, because they say that now already. Like, you know, I'm not small. Like my sons, they're showing what they like already, and it's they like them all. But women with size, they cling to little thickness. They cling to them, like they follow like little ducklings. And but you know, like the whole, you know, oh, okay, she has to be like this. Well, my mommy cook good, so she gonna have to cook. But it's okay because my mommy teaches me how to cook, so I can feed us. Like this is how they're talking. So, you know, it just I just hope it just pans out good. That's all I know.
mm-hmm.
Well, that gives props to you doing your
Facts.
thing as a mom and just making sure they're good.
Hmm.
And like Freud was saying, kids they pay attention. They sponge up everything, even when you don't think they're paying attention.
Oh
Yep.
They
yeah.
are paying attention.
They broke me down. Their godfather came by and he just was like, "Hey guys, can I get a hug?" And he was like, "I just need a hug today, just a little pick me up." And my youngest, he's so intuitive. He's what's up? What's so hard? What got you down? And he's like, it's kind of hard adulting. He said, "Really?" He said, "Mommy doesn't make it look hard."
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all done seen tears in my eyes. And he said, "But they don't last long."
Oh man.
So I'm not reckoning. At that moment was when I was like, wow, they really paying attention.
Yeah, man.
You got some young kings in the making if they haven't already.
Definitely do.
Yeah.
That's
I don't give
awesome.
myself. I'm extra hard on myself. Sharita will tell you. She tells me all the time, like she wish she had certain restraints, but again, it's just the age difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was younger. I had my daughter when I was turning 21. She was killed in a hit and run driving accident. But then I had my boys in my 30s. But I've raised other people's children too in the process. I have a cousin that's 9 years younger than me. I literally raised her. So, it's just the experiences, and that's just what I tell her. That's all it is. We all know what we didn't like, and we all know what really didn't work. So the right thing to do would be to do the opposite and create a whole new path.
Right.
Okay. So I ain't perfect because I'm still striving to make sure that I get it right. So I'm still checking off my checklist too.
Hey, we're giving you your flowers. Yeah, we're giving you your flowers. You're doing the right thing. And that is such a great testament of your parenting is when your kids and people who tell you how good your kids are and all these other accolades and praises, and they would say that about my kids. And honestly, I just felt like I just showed up because they're just so independent and know how to do their own thing. Well, at least my daughter is. My son, I love him, but that's another story. But they just know she knows what she wants. My daughter at 13 knew what she wanted for her birthday, when we gonna eat, when the presents, and I was like, yes, ma'am.
She had an agenda.
She did. And she's still like that to this day. So, props to, I actually gave her mom the props for that type of organization, but, hey, we were there together through frustrations or whatever, but we were there. And, but we had the kids together, so we weren't blended. Now it's the blended new relationship. My kids are Black and Latino. Her kids are Black and Latino also. Well, actually, the younger ones are yeah. I'm sorry. They're wonderful kids. And as I was telling Miss Angel, dealing with a young lady, mid-teens, is a delicate area. It's very delicate. And I think I may have won her over, which was Valentine's Day. Bought her a little teddy bear about this big and some chocolate. And this was before they came from school, and I just, dropped the gifts off and left. And the boy, me and him are cool. I played video games. Me and him are tight.
That's it.
That's what I said.
No, you won that battle without even thinking about it.
That battle was effortless and flawless. Now with her, we're not exactly sure what the dynamic is going on. And I'm cool with the distance because I'm respecting all that's going on now with this new guy in the vicinity. But at the same token, I'm letting myself approachable. I'm acknowledging her, So the bear was left on the table. And when they came home, mom told her who brought what. And like she left the bear on the table. And when she came back, the bear was no longer there. But since then, she's always been saying hi. You know, she would address me and acknowledge me without any effort on my part. So maybe I broke the ice. Who knows? So I'm just taking it gingerly, and we'll see how it goes. Now, in our case, the timing was accidental, meaning I do IT. That's what I do. And they had internet issues. So I went to the house and I got to meet all of the kids at once. And I was like, oh boy. But, you know, we didn't have any titles or anything then. It was just, this is Troy and he's going to work on the internet. And, okay. But I got to meet all of them. And so, you know, gracefulness is breaking bread together on the weekends, just hanging out, socializing. So it's just, we're taking baby steps because I am still in a relationship I'm working on getting out of. So we got to take it slow. No questions. And we're just enjoying the journey. So that's where we are at this moment. So before we head on, I'm going to go ahead and play the Blast Artist of the Week. This is one of the pillars of Blast. His name is Elijah Rosario. He had just released his second album. So this is the song from it. This is called Phone Home. Check him out.
Before you go to sleep, my darling, my baby, please say a prayer for me. They tryna blurry the vision to get to me. Gotta watch my back and protect my energy. I'll be on my way, so just stay by your phone. No matter what, girl, I promise to make it home. You don't sway till I'm nagging by your side. That's how you know everything gon' be alright. For my mental that was trying to test me. Hope that I fail you when you laying next to me. Pray for my mental that was trying to test me. Hoping I hear you. Your love is showing, I'm thinking about you. I'm on the road, but I'd rather be around you. Don't know where I'd be, girl, if I didn't find you. I'd probably be somewhere barely surviving. Can't lie, can't lie, can't lie. I be running in a deep end, and I can't lose control. One thing I need to know. Pray for my mental that was trying to test me. Hope that I fail you when you laying next to me. Pray for my mental that was trying to test me. Hoping I hear you. Before you go to sleep, my darling, my baby, please say a prayer for me. They tryna blurry the vision to get to me. Gotta watch my back and protect my energy. I'll be on my way, so just stay by your phone. No matter what, girl, I promise to make it home. You don't sway till I'm nagging by your side. That's how you know everything gon' be alright.
Yes, indeed. That is North Carolina's own Elijah Rosario with Phone Home. Sorry, I forgot that dang quick. So if you are an independent artist or even a up-and-coming comedian or spoken word poet that would like some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. That's blastmusic247.com. Changing the industry one artist at a time. Alrighty. So, Now, when is the right time for the new person to meet the kid's bio parents? Only the mature step up on that one.
Well, I mean, that should be around the time that the kids are being introduced. Because if not, what's going to happen? Oh, they're going to talk about it.
They're going to talk about it.
They're going to talk about her. So you might as well just be like, look, so and so, look, this is what's going on. This who I might be, because that's basically what I had to do with my soon to be ex-husband. Soon as it seemed like it was going like that, I just had my youngest son's father is more in contact, so I had a conversation with him. You know, he lives with a whole woman anyway, so but it shouldn't be any issues. But I'm always very upfront and forward about, like, look, this is your son, so you have rights to know, regardless, even if we not on the best terms, you still supposed to know what's going on with your child. Like, our beef has to get put aside for that. You know, he wasn't on the same page with me like that in the beginning, but later on he was like, I was in my own way. He was like, and I understand it. You just always wanted to make sure I was involved with my son. I said, yeah, that's it. You can come get him anytime you want. It. I will drop him off to you. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to come up there. He's going to be with us. So this will be your opportunity to meet. And he was like, all right, no problem. Just bring me my son. Like, he ain't care. He like, all right, whatever. Just make sure you bring me my son. But he saw him. He spoke to him. And basically is, I just don't want to hear nothing. As long as things is good with y'all and it doesn't trickle over to him, we good. And, you can't do nothing but respect that anyway, It was done just like that. No extras, no, trying to see who was the mightier person, because my ex-husband is like older than the both of us anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was either way, I was going to make sure that happened. And then it's like, after that, the kids, soon as they see me talking to somebody, one to be all in their face, the other one is sitting back like this, like, okay, who is this? The oldest has gotten to the point where, hey, mommy, so who was that? The youngest, he gets right in their face. You're not my mommy's friend. We could be in the store. I don't know these people. We just talking in the line. Can you stop?
Reminds me of my little cousin. She used to tattletale. You'd be like, you can't be telling everything. Right.
And they'll tell it
and as soon as either you have the adults have the conversation and bring the kids in, depends on the situation, or everybody sits down and have the conversation at the same time. Because some brothers can be real macho, some sisters can fly off the handle. Who this? Why you ain't tell me? And I did, because at the end of the day, he or she, everybody communicated, and it was fine because we created a child together. Like you were saying, Miss Sunshine, we may not be on the best terms, but at the end of the day, that bond is still there because we created this child. Especially in the Black community. We just have to, this is what's going on. Put all the emotions and feelings. Have like a family intervention. Put all the emotions to the side. You can't say this. You can't say that. This is what we doing. We here for child A, B, C, and D.
You know what, Troy? You know who I learned that from?
Who's that?
And we've been talking, outside of the work, but about my relationship with my father. When I finally had the opportunity to have a conversation with him, like, I'm born on his birthday, so I just on top of that, out of like, it's supposed to be 16 of us, so when he finally came home after being incarcerated for so long, just having conversations, I just really looked at him because hearing what he would say about each one of our mothers, I said, now I know you one man that fathered all of us, but why are you so concerned about, if anybody else does something or, is not treating our mothers right? Like I asked this question when we first got reconnected. I was about like 13. He first started calling me and he would tell me different things and I'm piecing it together. And that's how I formulated that question. And he said, well, I'm your father. Y'all will produce from my seed. That's y'all mothers. If anybody does anything to them, that takes her away from y'all. That's where I got a problem. Now, he may not have been the best father to us, you know what I'm saying, because of being in and out. But the way that I co-parent was solely off of what he said to me at 13.
Martin, what you got to add to that, brother?
Man, when I was listening, I just thought, how when you get, like, say, men and women, they get in a relationship and, you have kids by the other person. And, so, they'll end up getting in a relationship. You never question it. You never say anything. You end up just meeting the person, whatever. But as soon as you get in a relationship, it's like World War III hits. You be like, you in a relationship? I'm in a relationship too. Like, why? Like, I'm supposed to be single because But I think to agree with Sunshine is that you kind of want them to meet at the same time. You want to get that whatever uneasy tension or whatever it may feel, nervousness out the way.
Right.
Whether they're happy for you or not, they just want to know. You want to make sure your kids are safe because trust me, I've done it. My kid's mother met someone and, I came to get my daughter, and they introduced me and I just say, okay, cool, and I just let my daughter know, like, hey, if anything was to go down, you got my phone number. And they know they know how I get too. Like they like, dad, boom, 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 boom. I like same thing with my other kids. They know how to call me. But long as respect is there, then that's the main thing, because kids is involved, and if there's no level of respect, like we said earlier tonight, kids talk. They gonna tell it. So if somebody mistreating you, Sunshine, Miss Angel, myself, your kid's going to give them warning signs. It's up to you to heed to it and correct the situation before it gets out of hand. But then, I done seen a lot of men have great, other the ex, they and stuff like that. So to me, I wholeheartedly agree. Like I said, it has to be a level of respect on both sides.
Yes,
Let me ask y'all this. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The blended family, however we want to call it. So, how would y'all feel? Folks is married and disciplining your child.
Ooh.
That's a whole nother conversation.
No, that's the same conversation that happens with the absent parent.
Okay,
that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Honestly, some things, people have vices. Okay,
right.
So, no, you keep your hands off my child. And that can be your child. You're going to keep your hands off my child. I do everything. I got this. You know what I'm saying? When things get better, and they become more productive, and you see the honest work, and everything. It's like, okay, now we can really do this partnership with discipline.
Hmm.
Then when it comes to the married person, it it was a open conversation because he opened up a lot about things that was done to him by his own mother, not even the stepfather.
Wow.
As far as being corrected, that it did some damage because in his 40s he still felt heavily affected.
Right.
Wow.
So he would just get loud, but he never felt, in the way he said, he never felt like that. But then, people change and things change, and then, had to nip it in the butt. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But there was definitely, those things got to be discussed. You got to really know, you got to be comfortable. And, if it's like the mothers in our situation, you definitely need to know. I don't care if the father is incarcerated, you better let them know.
Right.
Like that,
Yes.
because again, they need to know. Not saying it will go that far, but we've seen it in the news. The
Oh yeah.
last thing you want to see, like I just watched a video of a father attacking the husband of the baby mother that the child is no longer living.
Mm.
The biological mother and her husband got charged with like manslaughter, second degree, like a whole bunch of charges. And when the father was walking to go up to the stand, he attacked the man while he
He
was
lost it.
while he
Yeah.
was in handcuffs. Yeah, and the judge didn't even charge him.
Yeah, that was
She didn't
was real.
charge him.
That
She
was
didn't do anything. She said in the courtroom why she did not.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
I literally just watched that 3 days ago.
Wow.
also another thing that I saw, and I would share with the families that I would work with. A lot of sisters get a man, get excited, move them in. We a new family. We this, we that. But
Hmm.
then you can't. You have to be very careful and really pay attention and watch, because a lot of men and women do this, but unfortunately the situations that I've been involved in is more men. They come in and they are predators on the children.
Hmm.
And that's a whole nother
Yep.
dynamic on top of just trying to have that blended situation, that blended family. And I'll be like, you got watch him or her, ask questions, follow your gut, follow your spirit, see them red flags.
Yeah.
You better find somebody that know how to do a background check real quick. Look, hey,
Yes.
who was that you dating now? Oh, what's his birthday? Oh, really? Mm-hmm.
Why are you hitting keys?
Yep, like oh, yeah, he was on probation. No, he's on the do not list.
Right.
Yeah, it's good to have people in positions like that.
Yeah.
It saves you sometimes.
Some headaches and heartaches. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they have the public registry, but everybody don't
Exactly.
abide by it. Not
Right. You gotta
everywhere
look.
really truly enforces it.
That's true. That's true. And then on the flip side, there's some situations where blended families have been great.
Marvelous.
Have them conversations. Let's talk. Let's figure this out.
Right.
Where mom and pops is remarried, the other mom and pops is remarried, and everybody hang out.
You know what? I feel that that's more open. That because like just with my siblings, I have my older sister and my younger sister are no longer with us as well. But I will say my older son's father, his reaction, because to us it's regular. He said, "Yo, everybody is so close," and I'm like, "What you talking about?" He said, "Your sister had everybody's kids in the house. It just happened to be all my sisters ended up being there, and they all had their kids with them, And I said, but again, this can be any given day. This is regular for us, but only two share the same mother.
Right.
We're only by the same father, but all my nieces and nephews, I have two of them that live close to me. One is here in Charlotte, the other one is in Winston. Like they're close. We're all close in it. They're now, fathers and mothers, and they're having their kids, and they are literally recreating the same model that they came from.
Sunshine, where you at?
I'm in Charlotte.
Okay, because she said New Jersey. I just
I'm originally from
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was okay because I'm in High Point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was in Greensboro first. That's how I met Sharita and everybody, and then I moved to Charlotte like 4 years ago.
Okay. So we're probably gonna run into each other.
Well, you too, so definitely.
So this blended.
I'm sorry, Martin. Where you from?
Oh, I'm right here in Greenville, South Carolina, not too far from y'all.
Oh, so we got to travel to Florida to see Troy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
we should make a road trip, right?
Definitely.
We all be talking about that.
Yeah,
it'll be
definitely.
around though.
Is around March 30th, so all he keep talking about is he want to go to Florida.
Hey, let me know. I'm off every weekend, so therefore I'm good.
No, I'm gonna have to. Y'all gonna have to FaceTime me on that one. I got some other stuff coming up. But yeah, this is cool though. This is nice.
So yeah, this is a really good topic. So we're gonna drop the last question for tonight, which is, what advice would you give someone going into a blended family situation?
Ladies.
I'm gonna say communication. Communication is a big factor. The good stuff, the bad stuff, and everything in between.
Yep. I'm gonna say take off the ruby red glasses and deal with those red flags, because red flags may seem attractive until you in it. So leave the toxicity alone, bro.
Or to be at the ankles, and then next you know it's right here, and you trying to figure out what happened. You looking like, what
you say is right here?
Oh man.
Hey, Mark, what do you think, bro?
For myself, I think we all touched on it so much tonight, and I think everything that we touched on, just from communication, understanding, being open, talking to your kids, and there's going to be blended families no matter where you go. So, and just appreciate one another, and just having that respect for how your families come together. So I think that's just the main thing. The main thing is just to share and communicate, like Miss Angel said, and you'll be fine. Have them tough questions. Don't be afraid of the tough questions.
Facts.
I would say before, there's just one thing, because it is part of communication, but I gotta say this before communication. Be yourself, your authentic self.
Authentic self, yeah.
/ no liars.
Right.
Because I'm just saying that could save a whole lot. And when you are genuinely just being who you are, you're more receptive in a blended situation, because then you don't have, especially if kids are involved, you don't have to worry about the air of, oh, they just trying to be better than my dad, or she just trying to be better than my mom. They just trying to one up, they just think they know it all. If you just, hey, I'm here, this is me, this is what it is, and you sit down with them, because like we all say, kids know.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they know before we do.
Right. That's crazy. I think we're dealing with a society too that they want to be more right than they want to be honest and transparent. Nobody wants to show the weaker side. When honestly, I'm gonna tell you now, it's so freeing with me to just be like, this is who I am, and this is how I feel. Let's work this out. And when you're in the idea of it not being all about me and let's make it a us thing, you'll be amazed of what will happen by you thinking outside of yourself. Because a lot of these relationships, they don't have to go through all the craziness they go through if people would quit thinking about themselves.
Oh my gosh, amen to that.
And even in the situation with me, because I have kids, she has kids, I have to think for her kids as she's thinking for mine. So we're not being selfish at all. We're really trying to cover the whole spectrum so that everybody is going to have a peace of mind. But it's going to take time, no doubt. But because we're at least trying, we're together, we're praying, we're believing, and we're putting action into it, we're going to see the success because we're going to fight for it. So it's just a matter of having that kind of determination.
Let me ask a question before we end this. And this is for everybody. You can answer it accordingly. Have you ever been a time when you meet someone and that person say, "Oh, I want to be with somebody that appreciates me and blase blase whatever," and then the more they start talking, you find out they're more about themselves, and it's like, I want this, I want to do this, but there's never a clue of let us accomplish this together. Right. Everybody has their own hopes and dreams, and that's understandable. But if you come in together and you thinking that you want to be in a relationship or you want to be in a long-term relationship and you want to eventually get married, that I factor should play out in a whole separate different way. It should be more of us than I say, well, hey, I thought about getting a house, but now, the way things is going, we should look into getting a house together. Well, I want a house. I want to do this. I want to travel the world. So it'd be like, I used to be here. So, well, hey, you ain't got no use for me. Then, hey, I'm going on my own thing. Cause I never one thing I always been very selfish, very free spirit, kind hearted. Sometimes it gets me in trouble. And sometimes I had to learn how to be selfish. To where I get I learn to be selfish to where it kind of I have to know when to do it and know when not to. So and I have met people like that. I have met people that were just literally I spent a whole wasted timeline in a relationship, and all I ever heard was I and I was like, okay, well then if that's if that's what you want to do, then I ain't never gonna stop nobody from living a dream or going after what they want, because I'm very supportive in that, but you just have to do it without me.
Right.
Well, dang, I got the timeline, and when they talk about the we stuff, and they turn out to be an I person. That's why I said be your authentic self, because it's when they, some folks are crafty and they learn you and they watch you and they observe. And then when they see that you're that type of person, when they see that you are a we person, like we should, they come in there and they soak that up. until they get enough of it, and then next thing you know it, and this oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've never met anyone like that, and it's interesting because I'm in a relationship now, and I have been single for such a long time that I had to learn to be like, it's we, and yeah, that might have been me,
Oops, my bad.
and it was brought to my attention. We said we're gonna be on December.
Yeah.
And so when you said that, Martin, I was like, yeah. And I just have to, I'm about 89.9, close to 100%, where it's the more of the we.
You're going to get there.
Yeah, it takes time for everything.
Look, shout outs to the new love up there.
I know, right?
No.
The saying, I have a little saying, because we're speaking on that, and I was saying it in my head. I said, well, it's like, sometimes I would say the we, then it turns to the I. I'd be like, A-E-I, baby, but it ain't you.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
I know, right? You know what? I might have to work on that because that's pretty.
Yeah, you go on and coin that real quick. Go and hurry up and trademark that. See, it was done here first, live on the Middlepage Podcast.
That's it. All this creativity. That's it.
Definitely.
So check it out. I want each of you guys to give your final thoughts. 30 seconds, and we're out of here. So Martin, give us your 30-second wrap up.
Oh man, I think every week I come on the show, I learn something different.
Facts.
In a couple months, I talk to my sister like every other day. We have great conversation on my way home or when I get home. We just appreciate it just to be around great folks that we think in our middle age, early middle age. I won't say just middle age, but early middle age.
Right.
That it's like we all found a profound love for life even more so, because we all been through some stuff. We all had our ups and downs, but it's just refreshing to know that we all striving for the same goal. So I say to each and every one, Miss Angel, nice to meet you. I just say keep striving, be the best authentic sunshine, as you put it, your authentic self, and life will be grand for you.
There you go. Miss Angel, your 30-second wrap up.
First of all, thank you for allowing me to share this evening. I thank Sharita. Nice to meet you, Miss Sunshine. Nice to meet you, Mr. Martin. And I've had the pleasure of working with Troy on another friend on the podcast. So, you guys were just open, made me feel great. And I'm looking forward to the next time when y'all need a substitute teacher again. This was awesome. And like we said, if we continue to share, everyone has a story. Everyone has a common thread in that particular story. And it's therapeutic. And we can, like you said, continue to be the best that we can be.
Indeed. And Miss Sunshine.
I'm going to say it again. And whatever you're dealing with, the best thing to do is to be your authentic self. Because then you don't have to worry about nothing else.
Agreed. Well, as far as myself goes, I definitely believe love can cover a multitude of sins. And what I mean by that is that if you choose to put what your issues are to help your brother or your sister, you will see your issues get dealt with quicker. And I believe that. Anyway, everybody, we want you to have a good night. Thank you for stopping by to the Middlepage Podcast. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. Come check us out. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of the amazing podcasts through the Blast Media Network. That's it. We appreciate you. We want you to have a good night, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace, peace, peace.
See ya.